What's going on YouTube? Welcome to WestysAngling. Today's video is going to be really short, but it's also one of the most requested videos on the channel. I've had so many people message me and ask me to do a video on this, and it's based on a tip that I mentioned in one of my feeder fishing videos. So you've all probably had this problem before. Your quick change insert doesn't fit properly into your feeder stem. Now, it can either be too small or too big, but the main issue is it being too small and it not being tight into the stem. As you can see, this drops out. There's no resistance there with the quick change bead going into the stem itself. Well, you might be thinking, well, Westy, why does it matter if my insert doesn't fit properly into the stem? Well, it's my experience that a tight insert's always better. The reason for that is you get a better bolt effect when you're fishing a method feeder or bomb or lead, whatever you're using the insert with, it's always going to be better if you've got some resistance there, because the fish is going to be nailing itself against the full weight of the feeder. It's going to have to lift that feeder off the bottom. Now, it's a fine balance. You don't want it so tight that the fish is dragging the feeder around with them, because what happens then is the fish is able to throw the hook against the weight of the feeder. So you want it to come out, but you also don't want it that loose that the fish doesn't catch itself properly with the hook, or the hook doesn't penetrate deep enough, because you will lose fish that way. I promise you that. You will hook more fish having a tighter insert into the bottom of the feeder than you will having a loose one. So, what happens if your insert doesn't properly fit your stem? Well, this works with multiple stems and multiple feeders, what I'm about to show you. And all you're going to need is a trusty lighter. Now, kids, don't try this at home or with parental supervision, so that's my little disclaimer. So these are Corum's new camo quick change bolt bead, which are my beads of choice, okay? But they don't fit my own brand method feeders, which are available on the channel at www.westysangling.co.uk, shameless plug. So what you do, if you want your inserts to fit, you just gently warm the end of the stem up. You don't want to melt it, just warm it up and gently squeeze the tip. And all you're doing is you're just narrowing the very end there. What you don't want to do is over melt it or distort that too much. You just want it just enough to narrow the end and make it tighter for your tip. You can see how that's not affected how tight the stem is in the feeder. It's still nice and tight. If anything, it's a little bit tighter, which is brilliant. And it's just made the end a little bit of an oval shape. Let's put it all back together. My quick change bead, which was really loose before, fits in snug and it ain't gonna fall out. So it's as simple as that, folks. Literally. Works with multiple different types of feeders and stems, and you can see how it's tight, but if a fish takes it, it's going to come out every time. That's how you want it. So I'll show you that one more time, but this time I'm going to show you close up. Okie doke, folks. So you should be able to see this a little bit better now. So let's take the stem out. You can see the end of the stem there, hopefully on the camera. You just gently warm the end and then squeeze it together. You're not going to burn yourself. Just gently squeeze it. It literally just distorts the end a tiny bit and it's secure. It's not going to come out. Just gives it that bit of resistance, and I do really recommend those as well. So if you haven't got yourself some of them, go out and get yourself some. I'm not sponsored by Corum or anything like that. It's just what I like to use. They're a nice long stem on the insert, and it just gives that extra little bit of friction. So they're really good. And there we go. Let's put it all back together. And like I said, it's not affected how stiff the stem is in the feeder, and it comes out nice and easy, but also isn't going to come out on the cast, or the hook length isn't going to pull it out. it's going to take a fish to bolt off with that for it to come out. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of this short video. I hope that was helpful. I know a lot of you have been asking me to do it, so there you go. Really easy, really simple. I'm sure that everybody will be able to manage that. If you haven't already done so, please follow me on the WestysAngling Instagram and Facebook. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, now's your chance to do so. And if you found it helpful, please hit that like button. Also, if you're nice enough to do all of that, if you have any questions, please drop a comment in the comment section. Anything at all to do with this video or any of my other videos. I always try and reply to everybody in the comments. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next Westys Angling.